Are you someone who's always been intrigued by the unusual and bizarre? Well, get ready to be amazed as we take a deep dive into the lives of 15 people who lead a strange life. From the man who lives in a sewer tunnel to the woman who has lived as a cat for several years, we'll explore the unique and unconventional lifestyles of individuals who have chosen to live life on their own terms. Join us as we look at 15 people who lead a strange life. Number 1. Jessica. Jessica is a woman who has made headlines for her unique lifestyle. She lives as an adult baby. Despite being in her 20s, she enjoys wearing diapers, sleeping in a crib, and has been cared for like a baby. This may seem strange to some, but for her, it's a way of life that brings her comfort and happiness. She lives like a toddler and loves to play with her 24-year-old boyfriend David, whom she refers to as Daddy. For Jessica, being an adult baby has been a way to heal from past assaults and to reclaim the innocence of her childhood. She sometimes wears animal-printed pajamas and even urinates in her diapers. Despite facing criticism and judgment from others, she remains confident and is proud of who she is. She enjoys wearing cute onesies and being pampered and cared for by her boyfriend. She believes that the lifestyle has been instrumental in helping her to cope with past traumas and to reclaim the happiness and security that she once had. While some may view her lifestyle as being strange or inappropriate, she sees it as a way to find peace, joy, and happiness within her life. Her story reminds everyone that there is no one right way to live, and that we should all strive to live on our own terms, free from judgment and societal expectations. Number 2. Tom Peters. Tom Peters is a 32-year-old man from the United Kingdom who has gained international attention for his unique lifestyle. That's because Tom Peters lives his life as a dog. Tom, also known as Spot, wears a dog mask, eats from a dog bowl, and even walks on all fours. He's trained himself to respond to commands and live like a dog, and in one interview, he explained that his fascination with dogs began in childhood. As he then grew older, he found himself drawn to the idea of living like a dog and decided to embrace it in full. According to Tom, his puppy side provides an escape from his everyday life, the stressors of work, the household responsibilities, and financial pressures, and for him, it's a chance to be carefree and escape reality. While Tom is not a sociable person, Spot draws upon his confidence to help him navigate through social situations. Despite facing criticism and ridicule from many, Tom remains committed to the lifestyle to escape the stresses of adult life. Tom's life as a dog also includes a handler who takes care of him and provides him with guidance and discipline. Tom believes that the lifestyle is not harmful to anyone and that it allows him to be his true self without the fear of judgment or shame. Number 3. Valeria McCulloch. Get ready to meet Valeria McCulloch, the woman who's turning heads with her all-blue wardrobe. For over 20 years, she's been dressing herself from head to toe in the same shade of blue. And it's not just any blue, it's a specific shade called Eva Klein blue. She's even gone as far as to paint her designer shoes blue with custom-ordered electric blue Sharpies. Now that's what I call dedication. Valeria is an artist and accessories designer who's fallen in love with the calming and serene qualities of her favorite shade of blue. And who could blame her? Blue is said to transmit peace and comfort due to its sky and sea-like properties. Plus, it's the color of divinity and has a rich history throughout the ages. It was worn by Germanic tribes to ward off enemies and was even used by Christians to denote divinity. But Valeria's love for the color goes well beyond just its aesthetic appeal. She finds the color to have almost spiritual-like qualities. She majored in color therapy in college, and her commitment to the color blue is so extreme that she paints everything in a custom-ordered electric blue. With her dedication to the color blue, she feels as though she's constantly in a dream. So if you do happen to spot her walking down the street, do not be surprised if she's sporting a blue dress, blue shoes, and carrying a blue purse. Because who knows, perhaps you'll be inspired to find your own signature color and begin a trend of your own. Number 4. Mick Dodge. Meet Mick Dodge, a man who has been living an unconventional lifestyle for over 30 years. Mick is known for his unique approach to life, which involves disconnecting from the modern world and reconnecting to nature. He's a downshifter who is a person who has chosen to abandon the conveniences of modern civilization and embrace a more simple way of life. Mick has spent the last 3 decades living in the Olympic Peninsula rainforest in Washington state. He's built himself a small cabin in the woods, spending his days hunting, fishing, foraging, and exploring the wilderness. He's a skilled survivalist and has learned to live off the land, making use of everything that nature has to offer. Mick's approach to life is focused on being present in the moment and embracing the natural world that's around him. He walks around barefoot to connect to the earth and its energy, and he brushes his teeth with a pine cone. He believes that walking barefoot in the woods is a powerful way to connect with nature and to improve his overall well-being. To him, it's a way of living that brings him peace and fulfillment, and he's become a bit of a local legend known as the Barefoot Sensei for his connection to the earth and unique way of living. For him, though, it's not about money, a career advancement, or even access to technology. It's about simplicity, connection, and harmony within the natural world. Number 5. Amu Haji. Amu Haji, also known as the world's dirtiest man, was an 83-year-old Iranian man who gained notoriety for his unusual lifestyle and personal hygiene habits. Haji spent his entire life living in the desert in a makeshift home that was made of holes in the ground and bricks, and he had not bathed in over 60 years. He was known for his love of smoking, eating rotten meat, and staying dirty. Despite his unkempt appearance and particular habits, he was said to be content with his life and often rejected offers for help from people who tried to clean him up or provide him the basic necessities. When asked about his last bath, he grinned through his dirty teeth, stating that it was in 1954. Despite the unorthodox lifestyle, he had a great sense of humor that the ladies seemed to love. He preferred to live off the land, hunting and foraging for food, and avoided contact with society as much as he possibly could. Recently, it had been reported that he had died after falling ill, and that had taken his first bath in over 6 decades just prior to his death. While his unorthodox way of life may have seemed bizarre to many, he was a reminder that happiness can come in many forms, and that some people find their fulfillment in the most unexpected of places. Number 6. Chloe Jennings White. Chloe Jennings White is a research scientist from West Bountiful, Utah, who dreams of becoming permanently paralyzed and confined to a wheelchair. Despite being a healthy and happy 58-year-old with a PhD in chemistry, a beautiful home, and a happy marriage, Chloe suffers from body integrity disorder, a psychological condition that makes her feel that her working legs are not part of her true identity. Chloe's fascination with being paralyzed began at the age of 4, when she became jealous of a disabled child and envious of her aunt who required leg braces following an accident. At the age of 9, she even tried to paralyze herself by riding her bike off of a stage, and since then has participated in extreme activities that could potentially cause paralysis, including pushing herself to the limit on her skis. Chloe finds relief from the anxiety caused by her disorder by using a wheelchair, and she feels that she was not meant to have working legs, seeing a wheelchair as a way to live more authentically as her true self. To her, the perfect solution to her condition would be to become permanently paralyzed, which would allow her to use her beloved wheelchair without feeling like a fraud. Number 7. Billy Barr. Billy Barr is no ordinary man. He's a hermit who has spent nearly 5 decades living alone in a ghost town called Gothic, Colorado. He's been living in an abandoned town for over 40 years. But unlike most people who would find the idea of living in an abandoned place terrifying, Billy thrives in the solitude and has found a unique way to spend his days carrying out scientific research. Billy's love for nature is the reason that he settled in Gothic. The town is surrounded by natural beauty, and it's a paradise for anyone who loves the great outdoors. But it's not just nature that keeps Billy going, he dislikes people as well. So, when he stumbled upon Gothic in 1972, he knew that he had found the perfect place to call his home. The town had been abandoned since the 1920s, and when Billy first moved there, he had to survive in a cabin without any electricity or running water. But that did not stop him from following his passion for research. Every day, he measures avalanches, snow, and water, keeping meticulous records of climate change, animal migration, and temperature. His data has become a valuable resource for many scientists who use it in their research and publications. Barr's resilience and dedication to his research is remarkable. Despite being one of the coldest places in the United States, he's managed to find his passions in the town. He doesn't have any specific goals to achieve or prove, but he carries out his research every day with great enthusiasm. Living in isolation can be a challenge, but Billy has found ways to keep himself entertained. When he's not carrying out research, he enjoys reading by a fire or watching television with a cup of tea. And although he rarely communicates with anyone, he makes occasional trips to the nearest village for skiing or to meet with visiting scientists. Number 8. Paul Alexander. Paul Alexander's story is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. For more than 6 decades, he would be confined to a metal canister, dependent on a machine to help him breathe. But he refused to let his physical limitations hold him back. He remained engaged with the world around him, pursuing his passions and making a difference in the lives of others. As a lawyer, Alexander used his voice-activated computer to communicate with his clients and colleagues, proving that his disability would not hinder his professional success. His passion for literature and classical music also served as a source of comfort and joy, providing an escape from the confines of a metal lung. But what truly sets Alexander apart is his unwavering determination to make the most out of his life. Despite facing overwhelming challenges, he refused to give up or feel sorry for himself, instead embracing a life with a sense of gratitude and a commitment to making a positive impact. Alexander's legacy serves as an inspiration to everyone, reminding us all that we have the power to overcome adversity, no matter how difficult our circumstances may be. We can choose to focus on the positive and find ways to make a difference in the world, and in doing so, we can leave a long-lasting impact that transcends our physical limitations. Number 9. Tom Leppard. Tom Leppard, also known as the Leopard Man or the Leopard Man of Skye, was once considered the world's most tattooed man. With an extensive body modification that nearly covered his entire skin with a leopard-like colored pattern, he spent thousands of pounds to achieve his unique look. After serving in the armed forces for 28 years, which included the Royal Navy and the Rhodesian Special Forces, he then moved to a small derelict hut on the Isle of Skye in Scotland. He lived there for nearly 20 years as a hermit until 2008, kayaking to the mainland once a week to buy supplies and pick up his pension and groceries. He reportedly spent a whopping 5,500 pounds on his leopard print tattoos that covered his entire body. Despite the striking appearance, he also claimed that he felt no particular connection to the animal and only chose the spots for their ease of application. It's worth noting that despite the unconventional appearance, he was still a devout Roman Catholic. After his death at the age of 80, his title as the most tattooed man would be surpassed by Lucky Diamond Rich. However, Leppard would be recognized as the most tattooed male senior citizen, and his legacy lives on as a true individual who lived life on his own terms. Number 10. Sarah and Gabriel Chrisman. Sarah and Gabriel Chrisman are a couple from Port Townsend, Washington, who have dedicated their lives to living like they are in the Victorian era. It all began when Gabriel gifted Sarah an old-fashioned undergarment for her 29th birthday, which sparked her fascination with Victorian-era attire. Prior to that, Sarah had no interest in wearing a corset, but now she and her husband believe that they were born in the wrong century. For the past decade, the couple have been living a lifestyle that's consistent with the Victorian era, their favorite period of time. They dress in formal Victorian clothing, and they do not own a phone, a computer, or even a television. Sarah pens her historical fiction by hand using a fountain pen, and they read books using replica ancient light bulbs. Their home is as close to a replica of the Victorian era as possible, with the mattresses they sleep on being sewn by Sarah and a huge iron wood burning stove that dominates the kitchen. The Chrismans have found joy in their unique way of living, and they've even gained a following on social media where they share their experiences and answer questions from curious followers. They've written books about their way of life and Victorian-era practices, such as Victorian Secrets, What a Corset Taught Me About the Past, the Present, and Myself. Number 11. Charlie Gilmore. In today's world, pets are not limited to just cats or dogs. Some people choose to live with more unconventional animals, such as miniature pigs, wolf dogs, and even tigers. One such individual is Charlie Gilmore from London, who has taken in a magpie as his pet. The bird was originally picked up by Charlie's father, David Gilmore, the legendary guitarist of Pink Floyd, from the streets of London. And since then, Benzine has become a permanent resident in Charlie's home, living with him and his wife Janina. According to Charlie, Benzine has completely transformed his view of birds, making him appreciate them in a whole new way. Even when Charlie goes to take a shower, the bird follows him around. He believes that birds, like crows, often associated with death and scavenging, are easy to approach and not as scary as they seem. In order to popularize this idea, Charlie has even opened a bird cafe in London, where visitors can interact with crows under the guidance of bird experts. For Charlie, keeping Benzine as a pet has been a life-changing experience. It's made him look at the world from a different perspective and appreciate the beauty of nature in unexpected ways. Despite the unconventional nature of his pet, he's embraced it wholeheartedly and is on a mission to help others appreciate the wonder of birds as well. Number 12. Miguel Restrepo. Miguel Restrepo is a man who has been living in an abandoned sewer in Colombia with his wife and dog for an incredible 22 years. Despite the unusual lifestyle, Restrepo appears to have adapted to his living conditions quite well. He's managed to carve out a comfortable home for himself in an area that is just 3 meters wide, 2 meters deep, and 1.25 meter high. Despite living in the sewer, Restrepo's home is equipped with modern amenities, which includes a stove, an oven, a bed, and even a television for his entertainment. He's even managed to furnish his home with furniture and other personal belongings, making it a homey and livable space. Restrepo's decision to live in the sewer may seem strange to most people, but it's not entirely without its reasons. The former drug addict stated that he finds living in the sewer to be peaceful and that he enjoys the solitude that it provides. Additionally, living in the sewer allows him to avoid the high costs of rent and other living expenses, and his unique lifestyle has garnered significant media attention, with many people expressing both fascination and concern over his living conditions. Despite it all, Restrepo remains content with his life and has stated that he has no plans to leave his sewer home anytime soon. Number 13. Rama Haruna. Rama Haruna was a young Nigerian girl who led an incredibly unusual life. Born a healthy child, her body stopped developing once she had turned 6 months old. She lost the use of her limbs, and doctors were unable to diagnose her condition, which left her in unbearable pain. To keep her upright, her family had no choice but to place her in a plastic bowl. She remained in that bowl for almost the entirety of her life, with no hopes of getting out. Despite her severe physical limitations, she never lost her positive spirit. She was always smiling, and her family said that she loved watching movies and going out to the market. She even attended school for a while, using a wheelchair to move around. According to her mother, she did not learn how to crawl and began experiencing fever, stomach pains, and aches in her body parts, like her hands and legs. Her brother dedicated much of his life to helping her out, which included bathing and taking her out every day. But despite her severe disability, she had entrepreneurial ambitions and dreamt of starting a grocery store. The family's fortunes would change once images of Rama went viral on social media, and that prompted an outpouring of requests from strangers who wanted to help out in any way they could. However, Rama's condition continued to deteriorate over the years, and despite all the best efforts of her family and medical professionals, she passed away at the young age of 19 years old. Number 14. Nano. Meet Nano, a 20-year-old woman from Norway who believes that she was born into the wrong body and should have been a cat. For the past 4 years, Nano has been living her life as a feline, adopting cat mannerisms and behaviors. She even communicates by meowing and has superior hearing and sight like a cat. In a video posted on YouTube that's been viewed over 100,000 times, she revealed that she hates water, can follow the sunshine around the house, and can tantalize the neighbor's dog. Her sensitive hearing was put to the test when she walked through Oslo's central station with a presenter who told her that she could hear keys clinking in pockets, people with ice under their shoes, and suitcases rolling on the ground. Nano stopped dead in her tracks and began to hiss as she sensed that there was a dog close by. Psychologists believe that she will grow out of her cat-like behaviors, but Nano has no interest in ever living as a human again. She sees herself living the rest of her life as a cat, and really, who can blame her? She believes her feline identity grants her some special abilities, such as exceptional hearing and night vision, while some may see her lifestyle as crawling on all fours and pawing at windows as a sacrifice. Nano seems content with her choices. Plus, if she ever needs to, she can communicate like a human, as demonstrated in an interview where she explained her cat-like existence. Number 15. Prahalad Jani. Prahalad Jani was an Indian yogi who claimed to have lived without food or water for 70 years. Born in 1929, he was known by the name of Mataji to his followers. Jani claimed that he was blessed by a goddess at a young age, which enabled him to survive without sustenance. He also claimed to have supernatural abilities, which included the ability to levitate and control his own body temperature. In 2003, Jani was studied by a team of scientists at Sterling Hospital who monitored him around the clock for 10 days. The scientists were baffled to find that Jani did not consume any food or water during that time and did not even pass urine or stool. However, his claims of not eating or drinking for 70 years could not be fully verified due to the short duration of the study. Jani underwent another study in 2010 under the observation of the Indian Ministry of Defense. The study lasted for 15 days, during which Jani did not eat or drink anything and did not pass any urine or stool. The study's findings became inconclusive as researchers were unable to determine how he was able to survive without food and water. Despite the claims and the studies conducted on him, many scientists and medical experts remain skeptical of his abilities and argue that it's actually impossible for a human to survive without food and water for such a long period of time. Jani then passed away in the year 2020 at the age of 90 in his native village.